Hi everyone, I'm Mike and this is the Sunday Art Show. Each Sunday I post a video, and this could either be a real-time demo, it could be a tutorial, it could be a plein air adventure, or sometimes a combination of all three. I paint quite a wide range of subjects including animals, landscapes and portraits, and I use a reasonably wide range of media as well, including conventional acrylic, interactive acrylic, watercolor, ink tints, pencil, biro, alcohol markers, Sharpie markers, and sometimes I just combine all of these. I did a loose and very simple preliminary drawing with blue watercolor marker pen. And then you can see I've just laid in a sky and a very simplified landscape, working wet in wet to create soft edges. I've used a 1-inch flat brush designed for acrylic here. This is actually a brand new brush and it puts down lovely marks. I quite often use frayed brushes for texture, but a brand new brush is also pretty cool. I've got some burnt umber, cad yellow light, cerulean blue, permanent alizarin, and tinting white. These are the interactive acrylics. And I'm going to work on the main animal now. So, obviously these sheep have a very fluffy, long fleece, long-haired fleece. So before I get into all of that texture, which is great, I want to just create some kind of form. So in other words, I'm going to kind of forget that the sheep has a fleece at all. And I'm going to simply model the lumps and bumps, as it were. So there's some of my burnt umber. We'll put a little bit of the cerulean blue in there, and a little bit of the permanent alizarin, and then just a light misting of water. And then squinting at my reference, I'm looking for the very dark shadows. Now, as I apply the paint, I will keep in mind the general direction in which the fleece is kind of flowing, but I don't need to be overly careful at this stage. I really just want to map out in a very simple way areas of light and dark. So the majority of the chest is quite dark. It's also dark down here underneath. And that extends a little bit onto the top of the more distant foreleg. Just going to mix up a bit more of that same colour. So burnt umber, touch of cerulean, and a little bit of the alizarin. So I'm not drenching the paper in water or anything, but I am just keeping it a little bit damp. Just helps the paint flow. That creates nice textures, especially when you're using a flat brush like this. And the kind of broken brush strokes that I get automatically, that's going to help automatically create some of the texture that I'll add to later. Now, I'm going to have to put in some even darker shadows, but we've got a reasonable start. So within the fleece, there's kind of a purpley hue in places as well. So I'm going to grab some more of the blue And I'm mixing that into what's left of the paint I had on the palette there, the mixture that I had before. We'll grab a little bit of the alizarin, and that's hopefully going to be fairly close, and we'll see what that looks like when we put it down on the painting. And of course, I'm going to be getting some automatic blending between the color that I'm putting down now and the color that I put down a little bit earlier. But of course, that's kind of a good thing, because there aren't going to be hard boundaries between one color of the fleece and another. Now, as we move up onto the top of the back here, it's kind of a similar purpley color. So I'm just going to grab a bit more of the blue and a bit more of the alizarin and mix that in. Let's get a bit more of the blue in there. But things get a little bit lighter when we go up to the back. So I've just added a bit of the tinting white. Now, there are oranges within this fleece as well, but we'll come to that a little bit later. So let's see what this looks like. So that's not a bad start, but it's a little dark. But I can use some of that up here near the head. So let's get a bit more of the tinting white mixed in there. Now you can see I've given a similar treatment to the animal in the right hand corner of the painting. But the highlights on this animal are kind of more of an orange. So I've mixed up some of the cadmium yellow and some of the crimson. And I'm going to drag some of that through the still wet paint. And then also apply it to the areas that I haven't actually touched yet.